Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, Frugalisama. My name's Sam. This is where I talk about all things sewing. Today I've got a fantastic video for you of 10 free blouse patterns. April is Sew April Blouse 2024 month, and it is a challenge on Instagram run by my lovely friend Rowan from the Yorkshire Sew Girl, who co-hosts the Sew Frugal Challenge with me, and Gabrielle from the Cloth Edit. I did a video last year of 10 free blouse patterns and it's been very popular, and after the Sew Frugal Challenge I found 10 more for you. These are all for woven fabric. Some are in French, so pardon me while I butcher this beautiful language. I'm a little bit rusty. So I'm going to start with Belene Paris, and this is a Calenzana blouse, and it's also a dress. So you've got, this is a fantastic free pattern. I cannot believe this is a free pattern. You've got something like 6 variations on this. So it's a beautiful sweetheart neckline. You've got 2 variations on the sleeves, so you can go for short or long. It's puffed at the top, quite cropped, but you've got a variation there whereby you can put a little waistband on and it's got a little curve on it. The beauty of this blouse is the patties at the back, really. Even though you've got this beautiful sweetheart neckline, if you turn around, you've got the buttons down the back and then a little tie detail as well. So the other variations is that you can do a separate skirt, or you can add that skirt and make a dress, and you can make it sleeveless as well. I just cannot believe that a pattern designer has gone to all this trouble to produce such a fantastic amount of variations for one pattern. It's incredible. It is available in sizes 32 to 52, that's European sizes, which is a 31.5-inch bust up to a 47-inch bust. And she's suggesting that you use all sorts of different fabrics for this because she's saying that it's suitable for wearing all throughout the year. So if you're wanting a winter version, then go for something a little bit heavier, like a viscose crepe or a wool. You can make it in a viscose, a polyester, satin, tencel, Cupro blend. It's giving you all sorts of different pattern suggestions here. So you need between 1.4 and 2.2 meters of fabric for the blouse, and 2.5 and 3.2 meters of fabric if you're going to make the dress. You will need 9 buttons for the blouse and up to 20 for the dress. So you're going to have to be a fan of putting buttons and buttonholes on. So it is a bit more complicated than most free patterns is this. Generally speaking, free patterns can be a little bit on the basic side, but this is just a little bit more complex. But I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, so pretty. So next up is Le Dressim de Cindy, and I've got 2 free patterns from her, and this is thanks to Des Made This. She highlighted this in her video, and she does go into a little bit of detail on one of the patterns that she made. So if you want a bit more information, I will link her video below so that you can have a bit more grounding on how it is to sew up. So the first one is Encore, or Again. This is saying it's a quick and easy pattern to sew. It's got a raglan sleeve, which are gathered at the sleeve head and at the cuff. It's just elasticated into the cuff. Finished with a facing. You do have bust darts so that you've got a little bit of shape in there. And then it just says that you can use 1.3 meters of something soft, not too thick, so that you can get these gathers into the neckline. So something like a viscose, a cotton poplin, cotton twill, or broderie anglaise, or a silk and a crepe. So this is available in sizes 32 to 52, which is a 31-inch bust to a 49-inch bust. The instructions are on a video, and it is in French. Now, she's very enthusiastic, and I think you'll be able to follow it quite easily. You can download this by A0 or print at home on A4, and there's only 24 pages, so it's quite easy. And there is a dress pattern for this as well, so you can extend it into a dress. So the second one from Le Dressim de Cindy is the Fonce, which means dark, which is a strange name for a pattern, but there you go. So again, same size range, 32 to 52. Saying that she wanted to make this accessible to beginners, but to make them realise that they can do something a little bit more complicated. So you will, if you see, there's a pleat at the head of the shoulder, and then there's a beautiful pleat at the bottom of the sleeve as well. So really, really pretty details, but she wanted to sort of say to people, even if you're a beginner, you can do something that looks a little bit complicated. There is also a free download to extend that sleeve full length as well if you want. So The sleeves are actually interchangeable with the Encore because they're both raglan sleeves. So this has got a V-neck rather than the rounded neck. So it is a little bit different to the Encore pattern. And I would imagine that you would also be able to extend it into a dress, although she hasn't done that as an option, but I can't see why not. Again, available as A4 and A0. Similar fabric suggestions. Pretty. She's saying you can use a cotton or an African wax, a twill, broderie anglaise, or a sequin or a crepe. I'd steer away from sequins if you're a beginner, to be quite honest. But yeah, or a pretty in a jacquard. And she said she's seen some really lovely versions on Instagram in a double gauze and viscose. So the next one is from Pauline Alice, and this is the Onil top. So this is not that dissimilar in style to the other two with the round neck and the V-neck, but this has got a square neck. But unlike this is the Lali dress that I made for the So Frugal challenge, which is by Tiana's Closet. Unlike it being gathered into a yoke, it's just a faced yoke, so there's no gathers into that yoke. So the sleeves are, it's a puff sleeve gathered into elastic at the elbow. But what I really liked about this is that she, on a blog post, she's given you 4 variations of how to hack it. So I've just recently done a collaboration with a Sewing Life, Lisa at a Sewing Life, along with 14 other vloggers, where we're sharing tips and tricks, and I'm talking about learning how to pattern hack to save money, and I think this is a really good segue into learning how to pattern hack, where the designer is actually showing you what to do in pattern hacking. So the hacks are to make it into a dress, just extending it into a dress. Lengthen and shorten the sleeves. Those are really simple hacks to do. A little bit more complicated is to cut it off quite short and put gathers onto the to make it into a dress. And then a little bit more complicated is then to put a button placket down one side, which I thought was really unusual. So I just love that not only are the designers providing free patterns, they're actually giving thought to you know, getting value for money out of your patterns. So yeah, that's available in sizes 34 to 52, which is 31.5 inch bust up to 47 inch bust. There's about 5 inches of ease. Do have a bust dart again with this one. She's suggesting that you use a cotton poplin, linen, viscose, chambray, something like that. I haven't written down how much fabric you need, but I would say 1.5 meters would do it. She does draft for somebody who's 5'5", so if you're a little bit taller in the torso, with it being cropped, you might want to add a little bit on there. The instructions are in English, French and Spanish, and it's available as A4, A0 and projector. So the next one is from Unfettered Patterns, and this is a pattern company that I discovered whilst I was doing So Frugal, and this is for a Pussybow blouse. So there are quite a few free Pussybow blouses available online. Mood Fabrics have got one, for example. But I quite like this. This drew me in because it was made with a chambray. And I guess you could make any with a chambray, couldn't you? But I thought I'd just include this one because it's a little bit different. It's got the really sort of long cuffs. So I don't know if that's a French cuff, but it's quite a long cuff. Got a button placket down the front, and then you've got this tie detail, a bust dart on it as well. Now the instructions are very, very minimal, but she does link you to some video tutorials, not hers, of other people's, for helping you with the tricky bits. So there's one for the darts, there's one for doing the collar, and one for doing the cuffs, I believe, as well. So yeah, I wouldn't tackle this if you were a beginner. She is saying that you need 2 meters of fabric, so like a chambray, but I imagine this would be absolutely fine in any shirting fabric, to be quite honest. You need something with a little bit of structure, I think. This is only available for a 34 inch bust to a 41 inch bust, and it's drafted again for 5'4", so again you might want to add a little bit if you're a bit longer in the torso. There's about 2 inches of ease in there. Next up is Tiana's Closet. So many beautiful free patterns on there that it's really difficult to choose just one or two, but I'm just going to stick with 2 today. She has just recently opened an Etsy shop, so if you want to support her as a designer for providing so many free patterns, then she's actually got 50% off at the moment. So the pay for patterns are actually only between £3 and £4. So all her patterns come in 10 sizes, so that is between a 31.5 inch bust and a 47 inch bust. I would suggest with her patterns that you find out what your size is and print that one off because she actually prints on the seam allowances on her patterns. So you can imagine if you print all 10 sizes that you're left with 20 lines, and that will cause quite a bit of a headache, I think. She leaves those seam allowances on because they differ between different seams, basically. It's generally a ½ inch, but when she's doing a collar or something like that, it can be a bit different. I'm going to start with the Basalie flutter sleeve top. So Rachel at Stitched Up actually reviewed this, so we'll link that below. There is a few sew-alongs for this one as well. So if you're more of a visual learner, Eloise and Ezra has done a sew-along for it. So I think she's based this on a designer's pattern she's seen somewhere, and it's just got this beautiful cape sleeve, flutter sleeve. What drew me in is a play with slight stripes that she's done on it. I really liked that, and the fact that it's actually, you can wear it both ways. So it's finished or fastened with a button and loop, but you can change that to a tie like this, and you can wear the ties to the front or to the back. So really versatile. So she is suggesting that it's a quick pattern. There are only 4 pattern pieces for it. It's available in A4 and A0, but there's a lot of gathering in it. So she does say it only takes 2 hours, but I think if you're not a fan of gathering, then it might take you a little bit more. I do have a video that will help you with gathering if you want to, is using elastic, and I'll link that below as well for you. So the fabric suggestions, I couldn't see any fabric suggestions, but I think you'd be fine with a viscose or a cotton lawn, something like that, something with a bit of drape. The instructions are quite sparse, but as I mentioned, there is a video tutorial for it. Really nice with a pair of shorts, or you know, nice and casual with a pair of jeans, or you could dress it up. Really pretty top, that one. So next up from Tiana's closet is the Isla puff sleeve top. Not that dissimilar to this one. This is the Imby Flowy top from Karme Apparel, which I featured in last year's video and made for the Sew Upcycle challenge in November. And I actually made this with a sari. I upcycled a sari. So that would be a good suggestion for fabric for you. I think it would be really nice in a viscose or something really nice and drapey. So it features puff sleeves, a slit at the front neckline and double tie. So it goes a lot deeper than this one. It stops sort of here. So instead of this front panel being cut on the fold, it's actually cut 2 separate pieces in order for you to insert that second tie. Now, if you're a little bit more modest, you could wear a vest underneath it or a t-shirt or something, or you could just ignore that, cut it on the fold and make that shorter if you're a bit more modest. But I thought it was really nice. The example on the website looks like it's been made in a linen. So again, I think there's a couple of tutorials for this one online, so if you don't find that the instructions are clear enough, then just Google it and you'll find a tutorial. So it wouldn't be a free pattern video if I didn't feature mood patterns, and again, so many free patterns on there that it's really difficult to narrow it down. If you just put Blouse into their search engine, you'll see them all, and I did feature a few last year. They usually have a wide size range. They go up to a 59.5 inch bust, so much more sort of size inclusive than the other ones that I featured, I think. So I'm going to start with something completely different. So this is the Salute cowl neck blouse, and so Sarah Style featured this in her So Frugal video. So if you want a bit of a review on that one, she talks a little bit more in depth about it on there. So what I really liked about this is it's completely different to the others with the statement sleeves. It's just got this asymmetry and this cowl neckline, perfect for featuring a really nice fabric. If you've got a nice silk in your stash that you're wanting to use, or something a little bit special, then this will be perfect for it. And what you don't see very clearly is that it's got buttons down here. Obviously you can omit that if you want, but I think it's just a really nice feature. It could be a good opportunity to practice making covered buttons, for example. Really nice for a special occasion, or just wear with a pair of jeans to dress it down. They've used a viscose batiste for theirs, but yeah, crepe de chine or a silk or something like that. There's 2 options with the sleeves as well, so you can leave the elastic off and leave them wide and drape it, or add elastic to gather them in. So the second one from Mood is a Flora blouse. I've definitely featured this one before, but I thought it'd be nice to have it included in a solely blouse video, because I think it's worthy of a second mention. Really good one to feature if you've got a nice piece of special lace or something like that. If you're into upcycling, maybe a nice lace tablecloth in this this yoke, single yoke here over the shoulder. I think they're suggesting a broderie anglais or something like a cutout, something like that. So it's got really lots of gathers. You've got a button placket down the front, and then you've got a stand-up collar. So for the main body, they've used 2 yards of linen and rayon gauze, so anything again with a drape. So really, really pretty blouse that. Great for if you've got 2 yards of something and just wanting to use something up. Good one for using up scraps or pattern blocking, something like that. And a bonus one from Mood is the Valli sleeve pack. So that one has 4 different sleeve designs that you can insert into a blouse pattern. So if you've got a really plain blouse pattern, particularly from Mood, they have some suggestions for each one. They're perfect for adding a bit of flair or designer detail to a basic blouse pattern. So I thought I'd just include that as a little bit of a bonus. So finally, a German pattern for you. This is the Solange blouse from the Handmade initiative. Lots of free patterns on there. A good one about this is there's no emails or subscriptions. You just click on the link and it downloads it straight to your computer. Instructions in this are German, so do not Google is your friend on this one. So just copy and paste it into Google Translate and you will get a good approximation of what the instructions are. And it might give you a bit of a giggle with some of the technical translations as well, did me. So there are only 3 sizes in this one, small, medium and large. What they're saying for this is, for the small, you want to be no wider than 95 centimetres, which is 37-inch bust. For the medium, no wider than 100 centimetres, which is 39-inch bust. For a large, no wider than 105 centimetres, which is 41-inch bust. So really quite small size range there. But if you're a lover of frills, this is the one for you, because you've got the frills around the shoulder and above the high bust here. You've got the frills at the collar. So this is, I think it's a pie crust collar, is it? And then you've got frills at the sleeves as well. And then you've got an additional option to add a peplum if you want it a bit longer, or you can leave it without the peplum. So you've got the buttons up the front. I think there's a bust dart in it as well. Or is there? No, I don't think there's a bust dart because I think it's gathered into there. So they're just saying you need 1.5 meters of non-stretch woven fabric on this one, but cotton lawn shirting, for example, would be perfect for it. I don't think there are seam allowances added onto it. I think you will have to add your own seam allowances looking at the pictures as well. So it's suggesting that you make a toile, which is always wise words. And maybe if it's your first one, add a 1.5 centimetre seam allowance, and that way you can adjust the fit as you go, and maybe just make it out of a old bed sheet or duvet cover to start off with, and just omit the frills whilst you're just getting the fit right. You can adjust the depth of the frills on it as well. They do talk about that. So let me know below if I've inspired you to join in with the Sew April Blouse Challenge. I've put this as a separate video so you can access it anytime. It is being run during the month of April, so don't forget to check out Gabrielle's Instagram page for the rules. I'm not part of the blogger tour. I thought I'd just make another video that would inspire you. Let me know which one's going straight to the top of your make list. I know there's a few there that I would love to make. So next up will be free skirt patterns. I'll probably do that next month. But in between time, if you don't forget to like and subscribe, leave me a comment below, and then you will be notified when I make a new video. Thank you for watching. Bye.